One thing you can say about Oswald Mosley, the late British politician, was that he was a fine speaker who'd clearly polished his art form. Quite a fair few of his speeches have found their way onto YouTube, and as you might imagine, YouTube being home to right-wing populism and far-right ideas, Mosley is back in vogue. I'm reading a book about Mosley at the moment, actually, called Black Shirt, which I picked up recently from a second-hand store. He's a fascinating character, and not just because of his politics, like many men of his generation. The First World War will have had a big impact on him mentally, emotionally, and indeed physically. Yeah. And of course, he was interned during the Second World War for several years. I guess the establishment might have viewed him as being part of a possible fifth column in 1940. Right up to the beginning of the Second World War, Mosley's fascists were quite popular among many. As many people know, his indoor political rally at Earl's Court in 1939 was the biggest in our national history. For another interesting slice of Mosley history, see the Battle of Cable Street, 1936. Anyway, one of his speeches appeared in a video called A New Machine on a channel called UKIPper, which seems to be a British Patriot-themed channel. So in the comments there are people singing Mosley's praises, calling him a great man, saying he was misunderstood, a true English gentleman. Mosley videos can and do attract anti-Semites, but then again, with Euro-nationalistic material, it kind of comes with the territory, as does the fear-mongering about immigration, and a conspiracy theory about the deliberate destruction of the so-called white race. Yeah, with the territory. Then of course you have your Islamophobes as well. I see a dissenting voice showed up in the comments of this video, A New Machine, and simply said, "Death to fascism." But this dissenting voice was quickly put down with this gem from a Lord Friedrich, who said, "England will live, Europa will live once more. Traitors like you, brain-dead Antifa, and the African hordes, their Jewish masters, will never win. As long as there are 1,000 Englishmen standing, we will triumph. Maybe not today, but one day we will rescue our land from the Islamic hell it has turned into." Well, my Lord Friedrich, Jews, African hordes, communists and Muslims, sounds like your 1,000 Englishmen are going to have their work cut out. There is someone in the comments writing in all block capitals like a stereotypical overexcitable 12-year-old calling for Britain to go to war if there are any delays with the UK leaving the European Union. Yeah. A user called Israel Covey says, "The UK needs to be purified. They are too weak and need to be killed before the true British lions arise from the ashes of destruction and take their country back." Right, what purification would look like and what a true British lion is, this person doesn't give details, so I guess that's just left to our imaginations. I get why those who oppose multiculturalism and oppose the so-called forces of globalism would rally around a voice like Mosley's. Mosley was actually opposed to multiracialism, which isn't the same thing exactly as multiculturalism, but that's a difference that many on the far right either ignore or don't comprehend. So, yeah. After the Second World War, Mosley turned his British nationalist ideology of fascism into a European form under the banner of the Union movement. Basically, he wanted Europe to exist as a nation, that Britain would somehow unite the continent and we would have a corporatist economy of Europe. Mosley died in December of 1980. What would he have made of the rise of the modern European Union, one wonders? We are left but to speculate. At the conclusion of a candid interview he did in the mid-70s, he did say, in his own terms, that his political life as a man of action was, as it turns out, a failure. And on that note, I bid you all a fair and pleasant day.